Now the next day for me, we've got our plate made and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I didn't bother filming the grinding and sanding and cleaning up because it's just grinding, sanding and cleaning up, you know. It took me an age with the angle grinder and the band sander, belt sander, to get it the shape that I need it to go on the to fit on where we need it to fit on. So it's going to kind of sit something like that, look, like there. We're going to balance it up to the other side. That's where I'm at now. I've just put a spirit level on this bike while it's on the stand there, and I'm going to take measurements and so on and so forth. So next up is to assemble everything more or less. I think what I'll do, I will just bolt this plate on this side and put a long bar out where the foot peg goes, and we'll balance that up with the other side. I think that'll be great. So there we have it, look. Put a spirit level on, put the bubble on. This threaded rod, got it the same as the swing arm spindle pivot. So we should be, if anything, they might be towing backwards slightly, but it's so fucking hard to tell, to be fair. But we've got one mounting for a foot peg, another mounting for a foot peg, nice and wide, as is the rest of it, obviously. What we need to do now, I could fit up the back brake, gear change, etc. But what we need to do is look at making that bolt. Look at making some custom foot pegs. So I've got a picture which I think I'll flash up on screen, and you can see the kind of design brief that I've got for doing this. As always, we start off with the old bandsaw, chopping up the materials. These are going to have an M10 thread up the bum, and these will be the centre part of the pedal. I've done a very rough sketch based on the longest of the two. The forwards that were supplied have got different lengths foot pegs. We're going with the longest at 6 inch long. So we're going to make a pedal, a couple of pedals if you like, 6 inch long, 3 inch wide, 1 inch down here. That's solid. We'll put some 1 inch tube across there. The ones in the picture actually look like they're bolts in 3 places, so there and there, and they kind of pivot with the old fucking lot. Well, we're not doing that shit. So we're going to bring them back in to this. We just need to find a bit of strapping for the outside bit that we're going to chop the grooves into, and so on. And a couple of bits of this 1 inch frame tube I'm using. It's nice heavy duty stuff. That'll work well. And finally the flat that's going to wrap around. I will cut some of this nice chunky monkey flat steel, and that's going to make the stirrup, I guess you'd call it, I don't know what you call it, but the outside edge of the foot peg. Righto, so I've got those bits of flat, and it's going to be really hard to show on camera, but obviously I've tacked them together, and I'm going to put every inch, there's going to be an hole in the width of it, if you like, and between the two, every other inch, if that makes sense, in the gaps, there's going to be another hole drilled, which will give us a half hole on the top bit of the foot peg. That's my plan. I've looked at the picture and tried to work out the spacings, and that seems to be what's going on there, like. So that's what's going on here. Righto, just warming the old lathe up a little bit because it's so cold. Get all the gears turning and the bearings spinning for a minute or two, just to get it going, like, you know. We all need a bit of an hand in the morning before we run at full hammer. Right, what I'm going to do with these slugs, I'm going to face them off to length, I'm going to put an M10 thread on one end, and the other end I'm going to bore out so that I've got a nice end to machine and shape and weld where it meets this. So I'm going to go in with the 3/4 bit, what, an inch deep or so, and then I'm going to take it over to the milling machine and I'm going to profile this on an inch cutter so that they butt up, and they can be tacked together then, ready for the flat bits that wrap around to make the rest of the stirrup. Happy days. So we'll put that in, we'll get it faced off. Now my saw's actually cutting straight, it shouldn't be too much in it. I'm not worried about the outside. Because I'm going to be welding it and whatnot. There we go. So I'll just break that edge. I'll spin it around, face this end, and then we'll have a measure. So okay, nothing's critical here size wise, it's all just got to fit itself. And I said I was aiming, according to my rough draft, we're looking about 4 inches. So we'll call it 75mm, and we've got, sorry, 100mm, we've got 101.97, so if anything it needs 2mm off, but I'm not fussed about that. We'll make them about the same, 101, 102 we'll call that. So I'll do the other one, and then you can join me again when I'm putting the thread in. Off we go then. In with the centre drill, nice and steady. I just face those slugs up, and although I did just cut them rough, they were 0.5 millimetre in it when I checked the length, so I'm happy with that. Alright, bear with. Just need to fit my drill bit, so I'm in 6.8, I'll just back this out of the way. Off. Comes out. Two soaks. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. So we set our mark at 10mm on the tail stop, touch on the face, and we want to go about 30 deep. So in we go. And now we're just coming up on depth. There we go. We'll switch this out. A countersink tool, ready to give us a lead in for that thread. Just like that. Right, now we'll slow things down to the top. It'll work its way in nicely. To about there, back it out. I'll flip the pot around once this clears, and machine the big hole up its arse, won't we? And we'll put a big hole up the bum, as they say in Australia. Up the bum is the saying, not big hole. That's just what we happen to be doing here. So we'll spin that around, switch back out to a centre drill, and get that all started. So back on quick. A little bit of lube. You know what we say about lube. I'll get that started. Yeah. I'm going to switch back out to the tapping size because that's what I've got set up. And that'll do it, no problemo. And we said about an inch, so about 30mm should do. Which we're just coming up on now, a little over 30 is fine. Now we're going to go with a 3/4 bit, so 250, 300. We're going to want to go down to 300, which is there. Just pop this drill bit in, which is there. And that should be about bob on. That's fine, I'm happy with that. I'll work my way down to the bottom of that hole. Just like that. Happy days. I will repeat that with the other slug. But it's far too hot to handle. Smoke that bastard, smoking. So we'll repeat that with the other slug. And then I'll see you over at the milling machine. Righto. I'm just letting the milling machine warm up, the mill warm up. But we've got the fat end, the big hole end, not the threaded end, obviously, that we're machining now. We set the bit of bar stock in a V-block. And we touched the tool off on the back of this jaw so that we know we're bob on for it. The tool's an inch, the material's an inch. We're just giving ourselves a bit of a scallop to weld onto the tube that goes across the back. I'm just going to give myself a bit of coolant because this high-speed steel benefits from it. So I'll just get that set up. Hold on. So we've just got a bit of mist and suds flowing on there, and we're going to take a trial cut. So scream if you want to go faster. Oh, that's alright, isn't it? So we threw a little bit there. Threw a little bit there. What I found with these tools, having broke a few, is that they like to plunge. They're happy plunging, not moving sideways, not traversing. So we do a plunge, drive it through the bottom, move along. Do a little bit more. I'll show you when we've finished. So we've just finished the last cut. I'll get the other one set up in a second, but you can see there, it'll focus, that we've just put a little scallop out so the joint will sit like that. Righto, so we've got them bits of round done. Now we're back on the big strip, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a series of 7mm holes. Remember, an inch, you've only just seen it, so of course you remember, inch spacers, then one in between on this joint to give us a little cutout. I've tried a couple, and so far, so fucking good. I'm just not sure what size to make the holes, so I'm doing about 7mm at the minute. And that might be, I need to sharpen, but it might be too small. I'm not sure. A bit of trial and error going on. I think it's alright, it's having good. The problem I have is is keep it on centre with the ones that are in the middle. I might have to centre drill those. Don't want to wander off because of the joint, so we're struggling to keep them pop on, but I think I'll go alright. I think what I should do is run a pilot hole, and I think that'll work better. So I'm going to size down, scale down to a 4mm, and then I might even go 8mm on the large hole, just to make them more chunky scallops and a bit more relief in the sides there, you know. Let's have a go. I'll run this 4mm, and I know this will do it. It's a new cobalt drill, so we're good for that. It'll drill all of these and I'll fuck them a lot quicker. Hey, onto the bigger holes now. Fucking lot, there's a lot of holes. It's like a cribbage board. Anyone remember cribbage? Bless. Because it's so cold in here, I have to stand my coffee mug on 2 gloves on the steel bench, because otherwise it just fucking goes cold like in seconds. So yeah, 7mm. I think it's alright. I might go bigger in between. I might go 8 or 9 even in between. But I think that the 7mm works well. For the holes in the strapping itself. Cutouts can be maybe a bit bigger, because you're only seeing half of them, aren't you? You know what I mean? So, not sure. Not fucking sure. We'll work our way through, get this drilled out. And I will most likely join you again on the bench. Right. Righto, excuse me. So we've got the bit of tube that I faced up. I've got the radio playing, so I hope it don't copyright strike. And we've got the insert, the middle bit with the thread and the chamfer. And we've got a cribbage board that's been drilled out and deburred, chamfered is the word I'm looking for. Been drilled and chamfered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tack these pieces together, the internal structure on both of them, and make a little T. I'll square that off and make sure that everything's cool. And then I'm going to find the centre of this and I'm going to bend it round, basically, to get where I need to be, to fit that. So, a little bit of welding, a little bit of bending. So we've just held it and squared it, and we're going to put a tack on it. So bear with, mind your eyes. No, it won't get you through the camera. Little tack there. Don't look central, does it? Do you know what? It don't look fucking central. I'll measure. We are not central. Excuse me. I'll break that tack and do it again. Right, take 2. I did mark it 1 inch from each end. Let me go again. So we've got fucking marks ain't accurate, Ralphie. You've got 1 inch there, 1 inch there, okay, which is going to be like that, and then square, which is just a squeeze really, because it's machined to be square. Grab the TIG torch and go again, mind your eyes. Better. With the tack on the back here. Yes, I am closing my eyes. Sorted. I'll do the same with the other one. I'll measure it and mark it and square it and tack it, and then we'll look at bending the cribbage board around. Right, so we marked a 3 inch centre to go around this bad boy. I know I've picked my brains, which don't take long, if you know me, and come to the conclusion that it's going to be a brute force and ignorance job, and we're going to kind of do it. Maybe I might have to warm it up. We're going to bend it. Just want it soft this end, don't we? We don't want it hard. We want it almost rounded this end. So we're going to pull it, bang it, bash it, maybe warm it up. We'll see how that goes. Look, till we get up to 90-ish. And we're going to do the same the other end, from that 3-inch mark. Until we get where we need to be. So, moving the bench. Moving you. So, I'll whack it and tap it and tap it and whack it. What I've worked out is to use the vise as a press and actually fit that in the middle there. Right? It's hard to show on camera, but fit that in the middle and then squeeze the fucking vise up, basically. So you have to kind of hold it in place until it grabs it. Here we go. Wind it. Give it a couple of love taps to relax itself. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, that goes inside. We'll have to shape this a little bit now. We'll go from there. They put up a fucking struggle, didn't they? Which one? That one's fucking hot. That one's just hot. That's fucking hot. What I'm going to do, I'm going to trim. Have a fettler now. Trim the ends of this tube. Get them so that they're sitting a bit neater and a bit fucking squarer. And then weld them up when they're done. Yeah, righto. So, we're tacked up. We're trimmed and tacked. It just leaves a weld and a quick clean up. And then we've got the old Pt2 rustic style foot pegs. Fucking pain in the ass to make. Well, no, they weren't a pain in the ass. A lot of work went into them. But I weld them and clean them up. Probably film a little bit of welding and that, but I don't think it makes for good footage, to be fair. Well, there they are, welded, still a bit hot, and a bit cleaned up. As cleaned up as they get in. We'll get them bolted on, and I'll show you the finished job. So there we have it, look. There's the fucking monster fucking bicycle pedals, I suppose they look like. All done, sorted. Got to look at back brake linkage, gear change, maybe I'll make a longer pedal or something, I don't know. Don't know quite how we're going to do that, but that wraps this part of the fucking video up. Just leaves me to thank you for watching. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later, everyone. Have a great one.